either to become a franchisor, as Abdallah, or to assess and to be more precise when you come to speak about franchising. If you are from Tamkin or any other institution, it's always interesting to know exactly the business and the details of the business that you are dealing with. In Tamkin, tomorrow you will grant loans or incentives for franchising. If you don't know exactly what is a franchise, it could be a problem, you know. So I think it's very relevant for you guys, for also a consultant, because you will learn from you also. There is interaction from consulting people, the teachers, everybody. I'm happy about the feedback and the reaction of people. I see that people are motivated. You know, this is the most important. I see that you're not here just to comply with your system, but that you are interested in, which is a great satisfaction for me. We stopped on the chapter about leadership, which is, as I told you, directly linked to franchising, because being a franchisor, you are most of the time normally a leader, okay? You are a leader as franchisor, you are a leader as entrepreneur, you are a leader as a political man. If you are deputy or congressman, it means that somehow you are a leader. If you are an athletic person, a marathon man, you're also, I think, a leader. When you're able to run 42 kilometers, it means that in your mind you have something different than other, okay? Sportive, political, military. When you are military also, you have to be a leader. If you are general in the army here in Bahrain, people have to follow you. If you're general, you ask the guy to come and they don't move, there is a problem. So normally a military, you are a leader. When you are a judge also, or a lawyer, you are a leader. You influence people. Don't forget that leadership is linked, as we saw in the beginning, to influence. Influence. And for sure, we name it, we speak about good influence, not the bad influence. Okay? In religion also, you have leader in religion, as you said, in many fields. I will give you some examples of leaders, of people who at their time invented something new. You know, because you are speaking about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, okay, we know that. But in all the time, you have people who invented and who went to disruption and who innovated. This man, for instance, Henri Luce. You know Henri Luce or not? Have you ever heard about Henri Luce? Henri Luce, you know, 1898, 1967. He was the first man, you know, to invent in America the press magazine. You know, aujourd'hui, press magazine for you, it's normal thing as me. You buy Capital, Fortune, Management, Harvard Business Review, whatsoever, Newsweek, Times, whatever. For you, it's normal. You buy a magazine, 30 pages, 40 pages. It's a weekly issue, generally weekly or bimensual. This guy is the first time, you know, his concept, look at the idea of concept. You know, he's considered as the pop of the press magazine. His idea, when he built his business, he had an idea. Each idea or complex information can be discussed by less than 1 page. He has the vision. At this time, I mean 100 years ago, there were already press agencies, but it was big information, you know, for professionals, for bankers, for traders, or he decided to simplify and to make information accessible for everybody. I mean, as Bill Gates said, I want everybody to have a laptop, a PC, He said at this time, 100 years ago, I want everybody to have access to information, to know what's happening in the world, with many sections, you know, cultural, politics, economics, news, etc. And he created Time magazine that you have till today. You have Time, you know. And at the beginning, it was very difficult for him. He had a lot of problems, and it's just after a few years that he managed to make his business model bankable and to monetize. He was able to monetize his business model after a few years, you know. So you need sometimes many years to make money with a new product, because at this time it was totally new. A magazine summarizing the news of the week. There were newspaper every day, okay, newspaper, but magazines. You have the worldwide and global information from the world for 1 week. This man, and you don't know the name, huh? If I say Henri Luce, nobody knows. He invented the press magazine, this man. Time magazine and many other titles, you know, but he was the first to have the idea. Henri Luce, you can Google it. Abdallah already did it. You know, you can have a look at his biography. It's very interesting to see how people, they manage to disrupt, to create something new, something that is nowadays very obvious, you know. You buy Times or L'Express or whatsoever, you know, weekly magazine. It's normal for you. But at this time, when he invented the concept, it was not normal at all. There were only newspapers. So first example of leadership. You know this man? Yvon Chouinard? You know or not? You know Patagonia? You know the brand Patagonia? It's a brand for clothes, but for clothes for winter. For sure here you don't know, it's logical. If you have been living in Canada, you must know Patagonia. Someone used to live in America or in Canada? No? Or in Europe? Patagonia, you know? Patagonia is a brand, you know, created in Canada. And this man invented a new business model, I mean using green products, avoiding waste, respecting nature, etc., etc. I mean, it was a new way of producing. Now, if you can go on Google, you have a look at Patagonia. Patagonia is one of the most famous brands in terms of equity, okay? And it is named an ecological company. They use recyclable things. They recycle things and they respect environment. I mean, when you want to change the color, you know, of clothing with the dyeing, you know, etc. The philosophy of this company, the values, it's we make business, but we respect environment, we respect the earth. And at the beginning, when he launched his business, people told him, no, you will fail. If you want to respect environment and nature, you will have extra cost and you will fail. In fact, no. He was ahead of the others. I mean, he used to be ecologist, as we say now, ecology, but 30 years ago. You know, every day now you switch on the news, on television, everybody's speaking about environment, protection, nature protection, to decrease CO2 gas, to protect the sea, the North Pole with ice, etc. This guy was a pioneer. He was one of the first businessmen in the world to have the vision. And he wanted and he managed to integrate his value I mean environment protections to his business. He's a great guy, huh? Canadian guy, Yves Chouinard. And the brand, for sure, it's irrelevant. But if you go in Europe and in North America, Patagonia is a very famous brand. So I make business, but I respect environment at the same time. He was a pioneer in this, and he became one of the most famous CEO in the world, Monsieur Yves Chouinard. Because now, you know, ethical and ecological, it's an argument to sell, isn't it? It's an argument. If you're a company now, you have to be so-called a green company. You cannot anymore say, okay, me, I produce packaging, I throw the packaging, and it will need 1,000 years to be recycled. No, you cannot do like that. You have CSR now. You know what is CSR? Corporate and social responsibility. People, planet, profit. You cannot use anymore planet as if it would be infinity. I mean, you can use reserves of all of petrol, of gas, of whatever you want. It's limited. So the main worry, and there will be a big conference after a few weeks in Paris, COP21, is how people, how countries can decrease their impact on environment. How can you be less polluted? How can you decrease the gas production? How can you preserve and protect the earth? Now it's an argument in business. And look at all the businesses. They try now to communicate on this aspect, on packaging, on many things, on the quality of the dyeing of textile, for instance. You know, the jeans, there was a big case in Bangladesh about jeans, because jeans, you know, to make a jeans.
Sewing.
Yes, sewing, but you need stones, and there is gas. And it seems that people passed away, employees in Bangladesh, to produce jeans, okay? Gas and liquid, alcoholic liquid, you know, to make your jeans have different colors, dyeing, you know. So now a brand as diesel, there was a problem with diesel. Some associations of consumers, they remarked that the diesel jeans, they were produced, I think, in Bangladesh, and some employees passed away because the condition of hygiene and of labor security were not respected. So today you have to be very careful when you have a business, and when you will become a franchisor also. Always think now to CSR, corporate and social responsibility. Okay, you are a businessman. You have a franchise. You are a leader. But be careful. If your employees are sick tomorrow because they are manipulating cleaning products without a mask, and if the info comes on Twitter or Instagram or on Facebook, you close your company. So CSR issues now has to be taken into consideration nowadays. If you have a bad packaging which pollutes a lot, it can be a problem for you as entrepreneur, as a franchisor. So always think to have recyclable products, for instance. Okay? Google. So, you know for sure the story of Larry Page and Serge Brin. You know, they invented the algorithm to find information in a quarter of seconds. Many things about Google. First of all, Google now is a global company, and which is specialized, I would like to say, not anymore in data mining. Now Google is everywhere. I mean, and mainly now in robotics and in genetics. What few people know in genetics. transhumanism and research, etc. Because one of the two founders, I think Serge Brin, he has a special disease. He has a disease, genetic disease, and he wanted to develop a division in Google to boost and to accelerate research on DNA. Okay. So now Google has many fields of expertise, more than an engine research. I read an article a few months ago saying that now Google, they buy every startup, every valuable startup which is specialized in robotics, for instance. Any robotics startup with a potential, I mean with a competitive advantage, with value, Google comes, I buy it. I buy everything. And the patents, mainly. The patents, les brevets. They buy patents. Okay? How was it possible? For sure, they make a lot of money with advertising. You know, the first income of Google, it's advertising with Google Ads. Okay? And you know, with advertising, and also they have specific methods of management. I don't know if you're aware of that, but when you work with Google, you can on your own prepare your own project, being at the same time employee of Google. It's also linked to innovation, what I'm telling you. I mean, if you have an idea, you're a Google employee, you can present the project to your management, and Google can help you with money, with tools, with staffing, to implement your project. And I think you can allow, it's 25 hours a month or something like that for your own project. So I mean they foster innovation and entrepreneurship. So in Google you don't have any more managerial and employees. You can, an employee, if you have a good idea, you can have the tool to be given to you to develop your business. So you can become an entrepreneur employee at the same time. So it's a new way of management, again linked to innovation. And some people think that it's a new way of management and of dealing now on the working market. Some people now, as Jeremy Rifkin, they say that that work will disappear. You won't have any more employees. They say that, he's saying, Jeremy Rifkin is an American economist, that after 20 years or 30 years, there will be no more employees. There will be freelancer. I mean, I need you to help me to build my project, Tamkin. I will hire you 2 weeks. You work 2 weeks for me, and after you disappear. It's a new way of considering the work. If you have the occasion, really, I advise you this author, Jeremy Rifkin. Jeremy Rifkin, and one of his famous book was The End of the Work, La fin du travail. I don't know if you have heard about it. It's a very famous book. Jeremy Rifkin. Also, it's linked to this philosophy, you know, of Google. Don't be afraid. And we rely on our employees, and our employees can become entrepreneurs tomorrow. Okay? So Steve Jobs. We spoke a lot about Steve Jobs. What was the idea also of Steve Jobs? Innovation, you know, technology design, easy to use, a thing which is very important and that people forgot about Apple. Because now Apple is design oriented. I mean, you have a marketing and a design aspect is very strong, and Steve Jobs, when he was CEO, he used to be very picky on design, the design of the products. But one of the main objectives that Steve Jobs had from the beginning when he created Apple, this is it. Easy to use. This was his main objective. I want to create a bureaucratic and computer and electronic devices easy to use. And it's well known, me, I don't have Apple devices, but it's well known that Apple is the most easy to use. What everybody told me, this is the most easy, the most, what is the name in English? The most friendly, yes. The most user-friendly. What I heard, and is it right? If you have iPhone or... no, but now everybody has, most of the people in the region, they have iPhone more than Samsung. But people say that it's the most easy friendly.
I think it all depends on what they are used to. If it's the iOS or Android, like people they like to use Android, so all of their machines will be built with the same base. Yeah.
You're right. When you start being used and have the habit with exploitation software, if you're on iOS, for instance, as you say, it's difficult to change. You're right.
People who use Apple, they think Android is very slow, and the other way around. People who use Android.
You're right. I think in this case you don't change.
Yeah.
You don't change. So Steve Jobs, Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc, it's interesting, and Mr. Kano said something important. You know, Ray Kroc, you know, he was not originally the owner of McDonald's, because McDonald's was owned by two brothers, and it was not Ray Kroc. And Ray Kroc used to sell devices to be used in restaurants as Checkers, as Owen, etc., etc. He was a salesman, Ray Kroc. He was not a restaurant operator, by the way. He bought back, at the end, McDonald's to the McDonald's brothers. Few people know that. He didn't create McDonald's. McDonald's was created by two brothers. He bought back the company. He said, okay, guys, stop. I give you money. Give me the company. I will develop it. And look, he had the first idea to duplicate. You know, the idea of franchise, and it is right, was developed a lot by this man. He had a vision. He said, okay, we are in America. We have two restaurants. There are two restaurants at the beginning, two McDonald's. He said, I want to have restaurants all over America, all over USA. It was his vision, his dream. At this time, it was not easy, you know. You know? And he set up processes. Because if you want to duplicate and replicate, and once again link to innovation and to operation manual, if you want to multiplicate your two restaurants all around USA on the same way, you need procedures and specifications. So he was the first to invent, finally, the first operation manual, let's say. Because when you speak about quality, service, cleanliness, and value, what's it? It's the know-how. He created operations to be able to duplicate his concept all around USA by standardization, by process, with rules, with specification. And you know, now, if you study corporate strategy, people, they tell you that the source of the competitive advantage of McDonald's is constituted by the quality of the operations. Meaning, it's a package. It's not one thing. It's if you want to produce a burger, to make a burger, there is a certain way of doing it, okay? To cook the meat, you have the bread, the sauce, the cheese, etc. McDonald's managed to optimize the process on the best way. I mean, if you want to produce burger, the best company in the world to produce burgers, to make burgers, is McDonald's. Why? Because in terms of operations, I mean from the morning till the evening, the closing of the shop, they have processes which guarantee the quality, hygiene, the service, and the value for consumer. So they have processes. They are number one, McDo, in the world. Why? Because their competitive advantage is based on operations. They are the best people in the world to make burgers. Whether you like it or not is not the issue. But business-wise, they are the best to produce burgers. So you see the quality. And when you have the system, because quality, service, cleanliness is the system, you can duplicate. Once you are successful, you can duplicate. It's infinity. And look at McDonald's, they are worldwide now. But you must get and master the process and the specification. Another very important thing, the second point, the success of the franchise can be assessed thanks to the success of the franchisee. I insist a lot on this point on the book. I mean, you are a successful franchisor if your franchisee will success. You cannot say, I am a good franchisor, I have a bad franchisee. It doesn't work like that. If you have bad franchisee, it means that you're a bad franchisor. As in a wedding, you cannot say it's me, it's not me, it's a wedding. You are two to get married and two to get divorced. You know, you're two to get married, two to get divorced, and it's never 100 and 0. Huh? I think you have two to start and two to close. Franchising is the same. Cannot tell, oh, I had bad franchisees. Okay, you made a mistake when you selected them. It's your mistake. The guy was not good, you didn't see it. It's your mistake. So, hence, the quality of the selection of your franchisee. It's very important. Be careful to that. Huh? As Mr. Cano said, don't have the temptation to give your franchise when someone is coming with a nice check. You know, I want your franchise. This is the check. I want to sign the franchise agreement. Be careful. It can be very attracting. Huh? Someone is coming, giving you a check. I want your franchise. Give it to me. I pay you. Okay, but are you able to deliver? Are you able to provide support? Are you able to do it? This is the question. If you're able to do it, go. If you are not able, really don't take the money and tell to your potential franchisee, okay, I'm not ready yet. Let's meet again after 6 months and we will discuss again. But never start franchising if you're not ready. And I mean ready 100%. Not 80 or 90. You have to be completely ready to assume, for sure, problems. Problems. You have to think, as I told you yesterday, in this direction, you have to think about problems. The good things, there is no problem. Good things are not an issues. But bad things, problems are issues, and you have to think to the problems that could occur. Okay, so Ray Kroc, And for sure, when you ask people in the street, what is franchising? What is franchising? People, most of them, they will answer to you, McDonald's. What is a franchise? People, they will associate immediately franchising and McDonald's. After, when you ask them what is exactly a franchise, people, they don't know. They know that McDonald's is a franchise, okay. But what is a franchise? I don't know. Another example, you know, of leadership is the founder of FedEx. You know FedEx? Federal Express. Okay. So he had key points, you know. This man realized that logistics is a very important issue now because of globalization. You're in Paris, you want to send quickly an agreement or documentation to a client in Bahrain. You don't have any more time. You have to squeeze time, and you have to deal with specialists of logistics, and FedEx is one of them. Okay, FedEx is able. I don't remember really. I have a black. If you can have a look, really. I have a memory problem. The founder. Founder of FedEx. I lost the name. Abdullah. FedEx founder. What's the name?
His name Frederick David Smith.
What's the name?
Frederick David Smith.
Frederick Smith, exactly. He had the idea, you know, to create FedEx, and now you know you have many competitors. You know, as Aramex, TNT, but I mean in the region. You have
Yeah, we have
TNT, but Aramex, I mean as Arabic concept, I mean. Aramex, huh? I mean in the region. Aramex is very strong. Yes, I think it's Jordan or Lebanese, Jordanian, huh? Aramex, Jordanian, exactly. Yeah, yes, it's a big thing. Aramex today is a big story, huh?
It's the only logistic or courier company which had access to Palestine, to Tunisia, to Libya at the time of the Arab Spring.
Wow.
Nobody was delivering to those countries.
Except Aramex. No, it's a big story, Aramex. Me, in Lebanon, a lot of people, they use Aramex. For sure, you have the big players, DHL, UPS, TNT, okay. But Mr. Smith was the first, you know, don't over-promise to clients. Was his motto, don't promise, you know, to clients. But take key decision quickly out of turmoil, and you have to deliver. The main service, the commitment, you know, of FedEx, it's to deliver things on due time. It's a commitment of the brand. You send a parcel through Aramex, you have to be sure that 24 hours after or 48 hours, it will be delivered to your destinataire, I mean, the receiver. Okay? Alors, you know this man?
No, I studied Tennessee.
Ah. Aristide Boussico, you know Aristide Boussico? Nobody knows this guy. Nobody. A long time ago, but he created the first department store in France. Le Printemps, you know, Le Printemps? Le Printemps, the spring. You don't know the Printemps in Paris? It's a big department store. You know, he was the first to create this department store. It was at the end of the 19th century, and you know, at this time there was no department store. At this time there were only boutiques. I mean, you want to buy a hat, you go in a hat shop. You want to buy a pair of shoes, you go to a shoes shop. You want to buy a watch, you go to a watch shop. And the door is closed. And most of the time when you enter, you have to buy. I mean, it's implicit, you know. This guy, Aristide Boucicault, you know, the name here is written the inventor of the modern trading, of modern retail, traduction, inventeur du commerce moderne. He created the first department store in Paris. The first department store. Look at, tape the name Abdallah Boucicault to have a look. He created the first department store. What is a department store? You can roll around many kind and big diversity of items. Okay, hats, purses, shoes, jewelry, watches, etc. But you are not committed to buy. You can enter into Galeries Lafayette in Paris, or here now in any department store, in Saks Avenue, in Harvey Nichols, whatever you want. You are not committed to buy. You can enter, make a roll, you know. This is a, wait, just. Bon Marché, you know. After it became, the name is Bon Marché. Bon Marché, the name is not, after it became Printemps. Bon Marché. Bon Marché. After it became Printemps. So, yes, it's a new concept at this time. You know, for you today it's normal. For you today it's normal. You know, you go to a department store, you go in, you go out.
Yeah, I was wondering the other day. Just people started with something, and then suddenly you see that they put everything on that store. So it become like departmental store. You know.
It's the. And people, you know, don't know, but it was invented at this time by this guy. It was totally new. With the sales, you know, with people, with saleswomen, advising you, take that, I advise you to buy that, and give advices. First department store. It was a new concept. Now you speak about e-business, huh? Now you order with your mouse. But this was an evolution, you know, of Mr. Boucicault, Le Bon Marché. And we will finish by that. You know this guy? What's his name? Phil Knight, okay? It's the CEO of Nike. It's a former athletic. He was running. He was running not marathon, but he was in athleticism. And he decided, you know, to create a brand after, as a retirement. You know, he stopped his career of sportive. He was looking for a job. He said, okay, I have to create a brand. And according to the legend, I repeat, according to the legend, he was taking his breakfast in the morning. His wife brought him some pancake, you know. It was very smooth. And he had the idea to create sneakers with very smoothie, you know. He had the idea. What the legend says, I don't know if it's right or wrong, you know. And the big input of Nike, when you study Nike case study, I mean MBA or whatsoever, They are telling you that the one of the big source of the competitive advantage of Nike is research and development. I mean, Nike is always and continuously innovating. Again, Nike is always innovating. In terms of R&D, so research and development, and in terms of marketing, because you can also innovate marketing-wise. You know? Exactly. So, innovation is a key success factor for Nike, and it has to be a lesson for every entrepreneur. You know, when you are innovator, you always have